Missiles continue to rain down on Ukrainian cities on the 13th day of the invasion, and Ukraine will attempt to evacuate civilians from 5 of the hardest hit cities under a humanitarian corridor agreed with Russia. A similar ceasefire agreement set on Monday failed, with Ukraine accusing Russia of shelling the passages civilians were supposed to use to flee. In the latest, Russia has announced a ceasefire from 7 GMT so that civilians from a number of Ukrainian cities, including Kyiv, could be evacuated. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed the opening of humanitarian corridors so civilians can evacuate from the cities of Kyiv, Kharkiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Mariupol and Irpin. Ukraine too has confirmed the evacuation of civilians from Sumy heading south to the city of Poltava. President Zelensky had accused Moscow of hampering those evacuation efforts by mining roads and destroying buses after Russia had proposed the creation of similar corridors on Monday. But many civilians have refused, as 4 of Moscow's 6 proposed corridors lead straight to either Russia or its ally, Belarus.
Була домовленість про гуманітарні коридори. Чи спрацювала вона? Замість неї спрацювали російські танки, російські гради, російські міни. Вони навіть замінували дорогу, яку погоджували для підвезення продуктів і ліків для людей, для дітей.
These deaths come after multiple attempts. Power in the southern port of Mariupol after 2 failed evacuation attempts there. The Red Cross says that refugees who tried to escape Mariupol using agreed escape routes were left stranded as the road they were directed towards was mined on Monday. Journalists also witnessed thousands of civilians on Monday fleeing the city of Irpin via an unofficial escape route and heading towards the capital. French President Emmanuel Macron slammed Moscow's evacuation routes, asking sarcastically why Ukrainians would want to seek refuge in Russia.
La Russie plaide pour faire des couloirs humanitaires vers la Russie. Je ne connais pas beaucoup d'Ukrainiens qui ont envie d'aller se réfugier en Russie. C'est une hypocrisie. Et donc c'est un artefact de communication que je réprouve. Et les associations qui font un travail formidable, Acted, pour en citer une, la Croix-Rouge internationale et tant d'autres, vous diront que les couloirs humanitaires ne sont pas forcément les solutions qu'elles préfèrent.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin's chief negotiator blamed Ukraine's forces on the ground for ignoring orders which he said led to Russian shelling of humanitarian corridors. He made those comments following the 3rd round of talks with Ukraine, which yielded no breakthrough. Our correspondent Ollie Barrett has sent us this report from Riga in Latvia.
The diplomacy continues today here in Latvia. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, is in town. He will be visiting Canadian troops who are stationed here in Latvia. We also have a visit from the NATO chief, Jens Stoltenberg. I'm sure we will hear NATO's solidarity and resolve stressed again. I'm sure we will also hear questions for Jens Stoltenberg about whether NATO could be involved in enforcing a no-fly zone over Ukraine, and I'm sure again we will hear Jens Stoltenberg say that that is not currently part of the plan, that would risk a wider conflict with Russia that NATO allies simply don't want to be involved in. For Antony Blinken, he leaves here and he goes to Estonia, continuing that journey around the Baltic states, which he describes here in Latvia yesterday as a wall of democracy against what he sees as Russian aggression on the other side, he will also, before heading home to the United States, visit with Emmanuel Macron, we expect, in Paris, trying to get a sense of whether Emmanuel Macron's attempts at diplomacy with Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin have shown any signs of success at all.